Savage, wild beats, come from the streets. These the type of brothers you be sorry to meet when you're in school. They want you to cut class, and if you do what they say, you will never pass. So confront your fears and get a grip on life. You might just go out, buy a gun or a knife. It's the fast lane. Cars and road chains only lead to the drugs that mess up your brain.
I was completely out of control, getting high in the morning, right before school, in school, out of school.
So don't drink beer, smoke crack, or marijuana. Cause if you do, your whole life is a goner. Your boss don't even care, and your mother's crying with thoughts in her head that her baby's dying. You're on your rest. So you move to the streets with the drugs increase. Do what you can to make ends meet. So you go and take the drugs. The next man sent you trying to front with a blunt and a Nissan Sentra.
But I still didn't have the desire to stop. I looked for more, something to give me more of a high.
Good night, getting paid with the rest of your friends. The money's looking good, so you buy you a Benz. You like the way you live, so no one can change this. Cause now you're a part of the rich and famous.
The minute I used to have it in my pocket, the pains went, everything. I didn't even sniff it yet.
Until you got to too.
Now most people don't think that pot is a problem. Mike didn't even, but look where it got him. Hard times with the civilization. He even got a curve after years probation. Here's the story of Mike, a typical teenager, born and raised in Allentown, Pennsylvania. His problem started out in the 7th grade, cutting class, smoking with the friends he made, but as time went on, he didn't change his ways. He didn't use the phone and stayed away from home for days. Now here's an introduction of this kid named Mike. This
Just hold the ladder for me, all right? Like, push down on that side, because my name is Michael Van. I'm 16 years old, from Allentown, Pennsylvania. This is yellow. I still have a drug problem. It'll never go away. My arm's getting tired. Being addicted to pot is just, you have to have it. You know, it's a need, it's a necessity. When I first did it, I loved it. I loved the feeling of it, and I wanted to be high all the time. Acid, I loved tripping, you know, 8 hours. You know, that was fun. Hash, opium. I tried coke once, I didn't like it, so I never did that. When I first started using it, once in a while, I was using like maybe on weekends. But then when I started doing it more and more, you know, just started breaking rules to do it.
And I guess you always try to deny the fact that they're really doing real bad stuff. It just takes time until you start seeing the signs of the beer bottles and then the drugs and then the lying and then the missing school. And my generation smoked pot. That's just the way it was. And now this generation, my generation, has kids that are entering into an age where they're trying these things. And it's a real hard battle to say, yeah, I did, and yeah, it's true, and yeah, I have a job, but you really shouldn't do that. It can ruin your life.
9th grade, I think I was completely out of control, getting high in the morning, right before school, in school, out of school. Go to a couple of classes, and then skip the last 2 classes of the day, go get high with people, just smoking pot like they were cigarettes. On the weekends, running away, not coming home for the weekend or a week.
I physically have chased him down in parks, well, tried to chase him down. I've had girlfriends out with me on literally hunting matches. We spent hours driving around, waiting and looking so that 3 of us could confine him and get him into a car.
I would just be out. I'd rather be out getting high with my friends. I would run away for weeks at a time. And when my mom would go to work, I would sneak in the house, eat, take a shower, go out and party more, stay out till whenever.
Day in and day out, there was an incident every day. I didn't even want to come home. It was like you walk in the door and you wonder what next. I think Heather thought that she truly disliked her brother. You know, she saw that there was trouble stirred up because of him. He was pretty physically and verbally abusive to her.
I remember one incident where my brother, with his violent episodes, was hitting me, and I would go to my mom and talk about it, and she confronted him about it and asked him not to do it anymore. And I think because she was so angry, she went to swing at him, and he stopped her and then went to hit her.
And I grabbed his wrist, and we had eye contact, and that was it. He never hit.
I think there's definitely something going wrong when a child, especially a boy, goes back to hit their parent.
And the only way to get him help was to hope that he would break the law.
I got involved in an incident with breaking into a car with 3 other people, and I got caught. And I got put on probation.
Back in 1989, Mike was referred to our department on charges of receiving stolen property. And basically what we did is, since it was Michael's first arrest at that time, we placed him on what we call an informal adjustment.
Wait, right here.
That's fine. What's new?
Nothing.
There has to be something new. I'm a probation officer for the County Juvenile Probation, and I'm specifically Michael's probation officer. What are some issues, Mike, that you're working on with your mom, with counseling, with Pat, particularly?
One, we just worked on curfew.
Well, the curfew's 10:30.
Listen, I came in late 2 nights and lied about up to the time I came in.
What time did you come
12.
in? 12. If you blow it, and I'm not talking about just using, if you mess up by violating like you used to do, like running away, curfew violations, stuff like that, we're going to violate your probation again, and you're going to be back to square one. And I'm serious about that. Mike has to go to TASC once a week, and TASC is an agency. They monitor their urine to determine if there's any illegal substances in their system.
How you doing today?
How's it going?
Good.
Okay, as soon as she comes out, you can go back.
And the consequences for Mike, if we start getting
Edwin.
positive urines for him,
Ready?
are that he will be taken back into court because it will be a direct violation of probation, and I will schedule him to go into some kind of other placement. And he knows that.
All right. Have a good Friday. All right. You got it. All my old friends are doing the same thing. I'm not with them. I'm with people that, like to have fun without getting high. I knew them already before, but I never wanted to hang out with them because they were jocks and stuff. Kick it, Jim. Dunk! Yeah!
I really got to know Mike this summer. I knew him when I was in high school, and I knew him to be using drugs. Before, he was always concerned about getting high, Now, I don't know, he looks at life in a different way now, I guess. I don't know, he's much more happy. Yeah, he's much more happy. He fools around a lot more.
He always wants to play basketball now. Now that he's not doing drugs no more, it's like all he ever wants to do is play basketball. And
I can say I did have fun when I was using drugs. I was having a good time, but I think now that I know what I'm doing, now I'll have a lot of fun. I think it's more fun.
It's nice to see that come back. Mike he's a real natural athlete. He was, and then his interest in sports totally left him during this period. He had no interest whatsoever, and now he's healthy again.
I'm really happy with our relationship right now. We have ups and downs, but it's nothing we can't handle. Pretty tough people, and we're gonna get through it. But as both of us, not just one of us. I always loved her. I'm gonna makeup, man. Damn.
Let me tell you a little story about this girl I knew. She was the type to be down with the drug crew. She started off fast, had no sense of direction. Her parents didn't show her no love or affection. Now let me tell you the story about the rest. And as I preach, let the mighty one bless. This girl, Maylin, yeah, she was a true friend. My heart will be with her to the very end. I hope you all take heed to this message that I bring. Cause this situation is a real life thing.
Hey, man, you manipulating little two-bit hussy.
You so busy manipulating everybody.
You need a lot of help, Maylin.
Let's go, follow up. Let's go, ladies. Maylin, let's go.
My name is Maylin. I'm 17 years old. I was born in Puerto Rico. I was raised in Brooklyn. I started sniffing heroin at the age of 12. I got physically addicted, and I'm in treatment now. The worst feeling you could ever feel. I used to get up, back pains, sweating, vomiting, diarrhea, everything. It was like a real bad flu. You couldn't shake off. And it was like, it was so, but some of it was so, such mental, because it's like the minute I used to have it in my pocket, the pains went away, everything. I didn't even sniff it yet. It was just the thought of it being in my pocket, that I was gonna do it soon, not knowing if it was good dope or not. I knew the pain was gonna be gone, and before I even sniffed it, it went away. As I got physically addicted, I started lying to my mother. And then after that didn't work no more, I started stealing. And then, it just went down the line until everybody got sick of it. There's not a day that goes by that I don't want to get high. Then I'll think about, here I am thinking about getting high, and look where I'm at. I feel closed in here, because a lot of times I be wanting to leave. And I know I can't. I know I can't leave. I have nowhere to go if I leave. Not until I get my life together.
Morning, family.
Morning, Maylin.
I'm gonna lead the philosophy this morning. Just follow after me. The Phoenix House philosophy.
The Phoenix House philosophy.
Our philosophy is that every person has an inborn dignity. Self-pride. But pride.
I came here to please my mother. I wanted her to be happy that I was here. First thing she said, I don't have no money, and help on me. I started to feel like a dope fiend.
I was really angry about all that because they took my daughter. Drugs really took my daughter to the point that I hated her. It came so bad that one time I was even grabbing her by the neck to choke her.
Yeah, it hurt me a lot. Even though I was high, I felt it. I felt her saying, I hate you. And I was like, no, I know she didn't say that. And she did. She kept saying, I hate you. I wish you wasn't here.
After I realized it, that what I was doing is like, wait a second. And it wasn't her fault. It was just drugs, talking, doing things to us.
I was excited because my mother was coming, period. So I went, and as I'm walking through, I noticed there's people in the corner, but their backs was turned. So they were here to see somebody else.
I have a surprise for you.
My mother had told me that. I got a surprise for you. And I said, what? And I was expecting a box or something. Then I looked, and it was my sister, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. When she grabbed me and she started crying, I felt it. I was like, I was in such shock. I couldn't express myself. Like, I couldn't, I wanted to cry, but it wouldn't come out. Then as I looked around, I saw my grandparents, and then all of a sudden everybody started crying.
Again? Oh my God. Now sit on a chair. I'm gonna sit on your lap.
I always try to keep my sister protected from any conversation
Now you sit
about
on my lap.
any of it. That's why when I first went into treatment, I didn't want her to know. I did not want her to know because I was afraid that was going to trigger her curiosity.
Ahora saca la lengua. ¿A quién se lo tengo que dar? ¿A ti o se lo doy a...?
Caitlin, you manipulating little two-bit hussy.
Tira? Okay.
You know, how dare you, after your parents came into house management yesterday, was read the riot act by your counselor, Kerry, and told don't give her any money. If there's any money to be given, give it to the counselor so we can hold it. And you manipulated your grandfather into giving you $10. That's really rank.
Carrie did not say nothing about money in the office.
You know the rules.
No.
The rules state you're not supposed to be getting any money from parents, from nobody.
That's a lie.
You're supposed to give it in.
No.
Don't say that's a lie.
That's a lie.
Every resident in here, from the day one, excuse me,
That had
excuse
nothing
me,
to do with the money. That had
excuse
nothing
me,
to do
but
with the
we're
money.
talking about your manipulative self. We're not talking about money. What's up with that?
Why you had to sneak into knowledge? If everybody was aware
I
of it.
didn't sneak it. Listen, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Be real.
Then what's the real deal, Mei Ling? You're angry, so let's hear it. You need to talk about it.
I regret that this is my third time here and I hate this fucking place. You know, I can't leave. I won't leave for nobody. And it's just hard being here knowing that I've left here 3 times.
What happened this morning?
No, I was just thinking about what happened yesterday. My sister came and as soon as she saw me, she started crying on me. And nothing came out. Couldn't show her nothing.
And?
I don't know, I wasn't there for her. You know, the only thing she knows about me is that I used to do drugs. And I'm in here. I was just like her, you know. People were telling me that she looks so innocent. And she look like she don't do nothing wrong. And that's how I started. And I got high. And I'm scared she's gonna get high.
Don't worry about your sister. She's got her own life to live, and she'll hold up all right. You better start thinking of all the positive things that are going on in your life. Maybe that'll change things about you a little bit. If you can see that you're doing something with your life. That's all I got.
Scott.
Okay.
I was so angry at myself. You know, I started regretting getting high. I was like, why couldn't I just stay in school, you know, do what I had to do, you know, just be normal. I kept saying, why couldn't I be normal? Why'd I have to be here? I don't want to be here no more. You know, I hate myself for getting high. You know, I wish, you know, my sister didn't have to see me here. I wish we could have been together always, you know, because we've been separated for a while. And I was just beating myself up, saying I was no good, I'm a junkie. Hard. Drugs is almost like a death wish to me because it's like it took everything that I love away from me. It was like being dead. You didn't have nobody there for you. You were really alone. It was like a death wish. It was like being dead.
Give it a ride, beat a ride, beat a ride, bebop. Skip it out, beat it out, beat it out, bebop. Give it a ride, beat a ride, beat a ride, bebop. Skip it out, beat it out, beat it out, bebop. Skip it out, beat it out, beat it out, bebop. Skip it out, beat it out, beat it out, bebop.
Kim, yeah, the situation with him, it is serious, so let the story begin. Bust it, he used to be young, but grew up by drugs, knowing that it's dangerous, but saying to himself, so what? He had a bad attitude, that includes his self-esteem. It seemed he didn't know what to do, cause he had committed a crime, and now he's in jail doing 20 down the line. See, that's how you get when you start using it, and yo, I dedicate this one to him, Kim.
Give it out, leave it out, leave it out, leave out. Give it out, leave it out, leave it out, leave out. Give it out, leave it out, leave it out, leave out. Give it out, leave it out, leave it out, leave out.
My name is Kim. First started using drugs when I was about 12 years old. My parents got divorced. Been incarcerated since I was 15. At that time, I committed a crime, which led up to the sentence of 20 years. I started using pot. I just looked for the escape. So I didn't have to deal with the divorce. After a while, I looked for more, something to give me more of a high. That's when I went to cocaine. Found what I needed again. That extra little step gets you there. That's when I started getting into stealing and robbing.
This is a picture of Kim when he was 6 years old. It's of a 12-pound, 10-ounce weak fish that he had caught. The drugs started approximately 2 years after his mother's and I's separation. His mother and Kim, they couldn't get along. And his mother decided that he should stay here, and Kevin went with her. We would spend weekends commuting. These are 2 deer that Kim and I shot 2 years ago during our regular shotgun season. This was a deer that Kim had got in the muzzleloader season.
I'd missed my brother. Wasn't doing good at school at all. I was going to fail that year. So I decided that if I got away from all that, maybe my life would change around. So I moved in with my mother. For about the first month, I did good. I stayed clean, didn't get around drugs. After about the first month, the kids in my new school that I started hanging around with were using drugs. And after 2 weeks of using again, I felt my life sink right back down to that deep hole I was in.
And brother?
I wish that kids on drugs could come in here, and the families come in here on weekend to see their kids, to see somebody that they care about, because it's a cold place. It's a stale place, because there's nothing like the sound of that door coming shut. And everything that they ever wanted to do is gone. And that's their sentence.
They changed my life so much. Yeah. Drugs.
Fine.
It destroys you so quick.
Yeah.
Hi, Seahorn.
After a while of using it, felt like a complete nobody.
Maybe it's a grandmother sensitivity, I don't know.
Thanks.
But I think we realized he had the drug problem the way he was reacting. It wasn't Kimmy. We knew he was having problems, and his mother was trying to get him help.
Told that I admitted that I was hooked, that I needed help. And she asked me what I wanted to do about it. I told her that I'd like to get into a program. A week before everything happened, I ran away. Figured I'm gonna party all this week, and this is gonna be the last time I ever do drugs, alcohol, or anything. What a joke. It was just after Christmas. I stole stuff from people, from family, gifts that they got. Took my own gifts and sold them to get money for drugs. And that whole week, I just stayed high and drunk. You know, felt like I was having the time of my life.
He went to a party. His grandmother come back and picked him up Sunday night, took him home.
And I was fearful Sunday night that he was, you know, that I was so afraid he would do something to himself because he was desperate and he wanted help so bad that week.
I was so high that I didn't even know where I was at. You know, I went up to my room and barely made it to my bed.
Him and his mother got in a fight.
Felt terrible. I needed those drugs early that morning. But at the time, I didn't have any. I used everything I had. Used all the money I had. So we started arguing again all morning. That's all we did was argue and argue.
He went to his room and he got the gun.
I put the gun up. I was going to just tell her to leave me alone. I wanted to stop arguing, stop fighting. And pulled the trigger. I killed her.
And as I pulled up, I saw all the police cars and everybody was there. And Paula, our middle daughter, came running towards me as I got out of the truck. And she came running down. She said, "She's gone." I'm awful sorry. I can't help it from breaking up. But I remember Paula come running towards me and said, "Daddy, she's gone," just like I could fix it or make it right. Yeah, I get my hug too, right? Yeah. I love you. When I first got to Clarksburg to see Kimmy, I heard a door slam in back of me, and I turned around, and there he stood. And all I could do was just hug him. I just grabbed him and drew him close to me and hugging and told him I love him. You see, he's a part of my daughter. When I see him, I see my daughter. And when I grab him, hug him, I hug her.
I feel sorry for what I did. You know how much I hurt them. I guess I couldn't say, yes, for sure, drugs did this, because I'm the one that pulled the trigger. But if I had to give a reason, that would be the reason, drugs. At the time, that's what I was. I was drugs.
Just sit back, relax, and listen to the flow.
We must drop a jewel before we go. Y'all heard me once before, now I'm back again to explain a situation throughout our community. Let's all sit together, form a circle of unity. Black or white, white or black, we stand proud. We can't give up, no way, no how. Cause back in the days, it was time to force, but now it's 1991 and you got to get yours.
No time to be waiting, time will be skating by.
And you still be getting high.
Wondering tomorrow if you live with your
So don't fake a move, better yet, just make it. If you get an opportunity, I think you should take
So
it.
do the right thing, yeah, like it was in the beginning. So don't be a loser, just keep on winning. Cause if you don't, there'll be nothing left except jail
Or death.
death.
You gotta do the right thing out there. Break it down, break it down.
Lead by example out there. Don't be a follower, be your own leader.
Keep
Do
your
the right
sobriety.
thing.